I've been posting pictures of bugs on my Instagram for 11 years. And I don't mean to brag, but I regularly get upwards of 13 likes on my bug photos. So obviously, I'm constantly bombarded with questions about how I get my world-class photos. So let me explain. For many years, I just got as close to the bugs with my iPhone 6 as I can. That's how I got this photo, this photo, this photo, and 100 others. For about a year, I've been using this macro lens, and I used it without a flash for a long time, which demanded high ISO values, but the pictures still came out acceptable. So here's a macro photo with no flash, and here's another, and here's another. Then I started using flash. Here's a photo with flash, and here's another. And then I started using diffusion. So I was able to capture these low noise macro photos like this, and like this, and like this. Okay, but hopefully you can see the trouble with this setup is that I have to hold the diffusion against the lens. Now surely they make a diffuser that fits this lens, but still this whole style, it's very large. It looks strange. You have to hold it. I don't like it. And if I don't hold it in place, it falls to the bottom of the lens, or even worse, it could just fall clean off. So today, I'm gonna build a diffuser that's gonna be able to mount on top of my flash and still diffuse light onto the bugs that are in front of my lens. And I intend to do that with this. It's a little strange, but here's my idea, is that I can cut a hole here and mount the flash onto it, like that. The flash is inside the milk, and I can cut here along the milk so that I have a wash of light, a big wash of light coming out of the milk carton and straight down onto my subject like that. So in order to get started, I'm first going to cut this hole, mount the flash on it, and kind of see how that looks. I'm gonna need to clean this thing out. See? This is what I'm talking about. Come on. Look, that's excellent. Excellent. Okay, so obviously, all I've done is just put this weird hood on my flash, and it doesn't necessarily change the direction of the beams coming from the flash. You can see the bulk of it would just go straight out. So next is to put some kind of a diffusion here on it. So I'll go find some white material now. What I've decided to use is this trash bag, and I will tape it to the hood. You know, they say the gear doesn't matter, but this time I'm literally shooting with trash. Okay, I have this highly cooperative little subject, and so I took some photos of him with the flash diffuser, with the flash only, and also with no flash at all. So I can kind of show how those look now. So, let's start by looking at this photo of the bug without any flash. I had to shoot this bug at 1/250th of a second so that camera shake wouldn't blur the image. And I had to shoot this image at f11 in order to get a decent amount of the bug in focus. So that means that in order to get some light on this image, I had to blast up my ISO. This image was shot at ISO 12,800 and it's still underexposed. So here's an edited version that has better exposure, and honestly, I don't hate this photo. I would post this photo on my Instagram. And for a long time, my macro photos didn't have flash, so photos shot just like this are all over my Instagram. This photo looks fine on my MacBook, but it looks very good on my little iPhone screen. Next, here's a photo with flash. And this shot was taken at 1/250th of a second and f11, just like the previous shot, except this time I had a lot of light available from my flash, and I was able to capture this image at an ISO of 200. So here's my edit of the flash photo. Now, the reason why it's better to have this shot at ISO 200 rather than shot at ISO 12,800 is because the noise from a high ISO value makes my photo less sharp. And my high ISO photo doesn't look bad, but the noise on the image makes the pixels blur together, meaning that even though these two images are the same number of megapixels, the resolution is worse on the high ISO image. So let's zoom into the eye of our subject. Look at how the flash photo allows us to see the definition between parts of the bug easily, but the high ISO photo has this pattern on the bug's head bleeding together. The pattern on the ISO 200 photo is easily visible, and the pattern on the ISO 12,800 photo is blurry. That's what I mean when I say that this high ISO photo is lower resolution than the low ISO photo. They're both 24 megapixel files, but we can see more detail from the low noise photo. Okay, so now the moment you've all been waiting for. What does the bug look like with my milk carton diffuser? Here it is! Yep. And here it is with a little bump in the edit. It looks pretty good. So here's the flash photo, next to the flash photo with the milk carton. What's the difference? Well, the most obvious difference is how the shadows are weaker. Look here at the shadow under the leg and you can see how the flash photo makes a severe shadow, while the diffused photo has a really soft shadow. Next, look under the body. This bug isn't a perfect example for this since it's basically flat on top. A rounder bug like a wasp would show this off better, but you can see that more light is able to reach the underside of the bug, which allows us to see a little more detail under the bug's shadow. And lastly, I think that the bug just looks more natural with the diffusion. It looks more like what my eye saw when I found this bug in my backyard. It's a slightly more pleasing look, and the diffused photo is the one that I will post to Instagram. It's not a drastic difference, but it's enough of a difference that it's worth my time to fabricate a diffuser out of trash for $0. It looks just like my other diffuser, except I don't need to hold it, and that was the purpose of this project, so I'm happy.